Alrighty, so next up in our fantastic boss guides for Azshara's Eternal Palace, we have Radiance of Azshara. Talents and essences and everything don't really change too much for this fight. Condensed Life Force seems like it's a little bit stronger than Visions of Perfection, especially if you're able to two-phase this boss. If you're not able to two-phase this boss, maybe Visions of Perfection is slightly better, but not by much, just in general. As for talents, though, it is Nature's Balance. I used Incarn here, but you can also use Star-Lord. Either one is honestly fine. Stellar Flare, and then Shooting Stars. So pretty traditional single-target talent setup. I actually like to stand further away from the group, as you can actually see right here, so I don't get those tornadoes that end up spawning on me. So that's just a way that you can actually minimize your movement here. And then something I also like to do is I also like to position myself near the Squall Traps to make sure that I can use my dash to get towards those little ads that end up spawning in the intermission as quickly as possible. So those are just some nice, neat tips that you can actually use in order to be able to make yourself a little bit easier for this fight. As for Azerite, no real shock here. 1 Arcanic Pulse or triple Streaking Stars. Then you can kind of play whatever else. Loyal to the End is good. Undulating Tides is like fine. Making sure that you actually use mitigation on the big AoE that the boss does, the Unshackled Power like you see on screen, to make sure that you don't end up losing your Undulating Tides is also pretty nice. Then there's some other stuff like Blightborn Infusion, Swirling Sands, all of those are also pretty sick as well. So that's how that works out. And then you're going to see us going into the intermission here in a couple seconds. You can actually stand on this lip of this edge too. Basically, as long as you don't get knocked into the water, then you won't end up taking the, I think it's like a haste reduction debuff. If I got knocked in the water, I'd actually just do like negative DPS. So that was nice for me to not get knocked in there. So you actually do see the 2 ads spawning. We get called to move to the right-hand side one. I was running back and forth because I didn't know which one was going to be called. You want to make sure that you Solar Beam off of the ads, not off of this main Storm Wraith. Basically, if you Solar Beam this guy, you'll end up kicking his focus power, whereas like if you kick off of the ads, then the ads will continue. The ads will be the only thing that ends up getting silenced because they're silenceable where the boss is not. So that's just a nice, neat little tip there. Something else is that you can also play Twin Moons as well for maximum damage on during this intermission session. However, I think Stellar Flare is just a little bit better as this fight is just a little bit more single target focused, because realistically killing these Storm Wraiths as quickly as possible is not really a Moonkin job. Moonkin is pretty good at controlling the ads. You can also use Typhoon if you want to kick their cast with Typhoon. If you're High Mountain Torn, you can use Bull Rush, that kind of thing. So Solar Beam is also obviously super sick here. And so now I proc my Arcanic Pulsar. And now we're going to be trying to burn the boss so we can actually two-phase it so we can get a pretty nice kill time. And that's the reason that I'm playing Incarnation and Condensed Life Force, is because of the kill time that we're going to be getting. Our other Moonkin was actually playing Visions of Perfection, and he had kind of a wild opener. That's why you saw him hit like 80k DPS sustained for like almost the whole entire first phase, is just because of how sick his opener was. But then eventually it does start to even out. So now, yeah, now you see my 3 minutes come up. I proc my Condensed Life Force first, and then I proc my Incarnation second, and now I'm just DPSing the boss, again standing further away from the group, because they're going to be getting tornadoes spawning on them at like a significantly higher rate. I do get one on me, but it's significantly reduced chance of that. So that's the reason that I am actually standing so far away. Again, making sure that I use mitigation. If I ended up bark skinning that, I actually wouldn't have procced my Undulating Tides and would have continued to do DPS, but instead I accidentally let myself get hit below, I think it's like 50% health or whatever that procs it. So that's just one of those things. And so now the boss is going to be dying here in just a couple seconds, and that's why I chose that card, is because this kill time is super favorable for it. However, if you still like Star-Lord, there's no reason in playing either one. Honestly, both are so competitive. I think in general use cases, Star-Lord is a little bit better for most stuff in the instance, but if you're using Incarn with intent, or like if say you're like significantly worse with Star-Lord, then Incarn is still fine to play as well. All right, hope you guys like that, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll be throwing up the Lady Ashvane one of these sometime later this week. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys later.